Are you ready? Are you ready to pod it up?
Let's go. Let's have fun.
Pete-cast it. This is the Simply Youth Ministry Podcast with Doug Fields,
But we are an award-winning podcast. We ought to start promoting that.
Matt McGill,
Let's soak up that awesomeness. How great is this?
Wow.
Josh Griffin,
Just to throw it in there, not all of our shows are going to be great.
and Katie Edwards.
That's what the teens are saying.
Write in. We'll answer your email.
SYMpodcast@gmail.com.
Oh! That's kind of a weak one.
That's right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Simply Youth Ministry Podcast, episode 153. Doug Fields here with Katie the Queen Edwards.
Oh, thank you.
Josh, the colored shirt.
Hello.
Ooh, nice
Griffin.
collared
I'm just
shirt.
keeping it classy, guys.
And
Raising the bar for youth ministry.
Matt,
Raising
finally a
the
youth
bar.
pastor McGill.
Hey, back
dressing like
back
it.
in.
Yay!
All right.
like it.
Hey, we did a show last week without Katie. We did
Worst show
a
we ever
show.
did.
It was rough. It was a rough
We did a show. No, it was an
It
excellent
was
show.
actually really good. I was just making you feel good.
Who was here in,
okay.
place of... Oh,
Jason
yeah,
Carson.
Jason Carson.
Supertone.
It's been
Oh.
1 week.
Yeah.
You could
I
replace
just
me.
got to it.
Here's
Jason
the
Carson.
deal with Matt. If it's not about Mariners High School Ministry, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
It's not-
exist
That's right.
anymore.
Not even on the
I
radar.
love Jason
That's
Carson.
right.
He was great. Did
He
a very,
was-
very great job.
he was great.
And then the week before, I sat in this chair with Kathy Fields. Nope. Kathy Fields was here. Megan Hutchinson and Amanda McGuire. We did kind of a spousal ministry.
Amazing.
It was great. It was great, except for the sound. The sound sucked.
Oh, it was terrible. But no offense.
So basically, I
Chris,
missed
it
the
wasn't
two like super duper good ones.
But here,
But now we're going to have another
no.
super
But here's the deal.
here.
Here's the deal, you guys. This is our very first podcast of 2011 with the team back together.
Love
Right.
it.
Feels good.
It's a shame we have to start it over, but it was a good...
Why did we just start it over?
Just kidding.
And then a week at the Simply Youth Ministry Conference, we're going to do a live show, and it'll be
Is that-
Katie's
that's next
first.
I know. I have some anxiety about that.
The first live
well,
show.
I
Oh,
mean,
anxiety! I thought you
yes.
said I have something exciting about.
No,
that.
I have some anxiety. I mean, that was like a really crazy thing last year.
Anxiety
We're
is
expecting an
exciting.
attendance of over
very
75
nervous.
people at that. It's
No,
going to be
there was,
awesome.
like-
There was hundreds.
There
It was
was
great.
It was
so
crazy
many.
last
Was there
year.
hundreds?
Well, we
Yes.
need
I
to get.
estimate 500, but I count
Are you
like
going to
capacity.
show up with a new
Outfit?
outfit?
I don't know. I was thinking about it.
Let's get
but
matching outfits.
That would be great.
Like that. We could have a
we all
podcast.
Yes,
Come in
matching
in
tracksuits.
velour, crimson, red.
I'm in.
Come running
Jumpsuits.
into
Don't say it.
sound.
Yeah. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Final Countdown is my favorite come-in song.
There you go. See?
The Final Countdown.
final
No countdown. Ba-da-na-na. Ba-da-da-da-da.
Here comes Harmony. Oh, let me down.
Oh, man. You guys
You
are just
said,
having
"Here
your
comes
own
Harmony." I
party
looked
over
to
here.
the door like, who is she?
Who's
See
Harmony?
the UPS driver or what?
Oh, I love the Final Countdown.
Well,
Okay.
it's good to be back. There's a lot of things that are happening. Matt is
Oh.
Youth
awesome.
pastor in.
Caffeinated.
We're all gonna be together at Simply Youth Ministry Conference next week in Chicago.
Can't
Oh, I'm
wait.
so excited.
Leave on Tuesday.
Yeah.
You're leaving on Tuesday,
Your
huh?
Wednesday, your third Wednesday.
Do you see there's a new
Thursday.
Segway out?
There is?
Yep. It's not made by Segway. It doesn't have an arm thing. You just stand on it and it's your
Not.
feet only.
No way.
What? That feels like disaster.
Feels
Could
like
never
Did you hear
manage
that the Segway guy died riding a Segway?
We talked
No.
about that last week.
Oh,
I
you
know.
did?
That's what I'm saying. Did she hear that? Yeah.
Well, why would she hear that? She
I-
doesn't watch the
I'm
show.
not in those circles.
no one.
True. No one watches
Not in
that
those
show.
circles.
The Segway's all about
And
No, I
we're
was
back. All right, here we
Last
go.
week.
Oh,
you-
yeah. You were out for the weakest reason.
Your response
Yes.
to me, or your
I got my
response.
wisdom teeth pulled.
It wasn't
my
me.
That's not weak.
like
It was
3
funny.
days beforehand.
Okay, let's bring our family team into
Together.
this.
There
Now,
we
do we
go.
want to call team in 2011 or family?
I like
Oh, we want to bump it up
What
to
about
family?
friends? We're the friend. You were your friends, so maybe they're just friends.
We're all
Maybe it's
friends.
family and friends.
Oh, I like it.
I don't know.
We're like a
Maybe
sprint.
it's
Family
friends
team.
this year,
Data plan
family
right
next
now.
year. We got to have a progression because there's nothing higher than family.
So anyhow,
than-
Katie had her
Oh.
teeth out.
other than Black Brotherhood.
my wisdom teeth, people.
I don't.
You had your wisdom teeth out.
Surgery, knockout surgery, crazy
Yeah.
town. It's not
my
like I
gosh.
just got a tooth
I had
pulled.
all
Let me-
four
let
of
me
my
br-
teeth
Let me bring
pulled.
it together. Let me bring it together.
Thanks for not touching my face.
And well, you're not the one that's out of control.
Thank
so
you.
we sent out an
If you
email
were.
to meet with the podcast, and Katie writes back, says, "I can't. I had oral surgery. I can't meet this week." Now we haven't met in 2 months to do the
I
podcast.
know.
Yep.
And then Matt Right. Oh, and Katie Wright says, I know Matt's rolling his eyes. Cue Matt's eye roll here. And then Matt wrote back and said something very funny to the effect that I rolled my eyes before I even
Got
finished
that
the
line.
sentence.
Yeah.
Of course.
But to kind of make fun of Katie
It doesn't feel right.
I don't make fun of Katie. Do I make fun of you?
I don't think so.
No, I don't.
I've never felt like you've made fun of
Yeah,
me.
I make fun of
Do
everyone.
you make fun of
I was going to
anybody?
say, let's be honest. We've all made fun of Katie.
No, I have.
Well, I would for sure say you've made
Yeah.
fun of me a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had my goal when I had my molars pulled. My goal was to have 3 slices of pizza that day, and I did. And it hurt so bad, but
And the
it
next
was
day, he was
unbelievable.
a swollen butt.
Yeah,
You had your
you can
pizza.
do it.
I know,
It's
but
all
you're kind of an
mental.
idiot, and I'm not. So
Whoa.
And scene. All right.
Let's start over. Oh,
No, that's we're going to commercial break on that laugh line. That was perfect.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
well, commercial break brought to you by More Than Dodgeball.
Ding.
The parent blog of DougFields.com.
Exactly. The soon-to-be as good as blog of DougFields.com.
Hey,
Not that we're in competition, but if we were,
You
I'd
would be
just,
killing me.
just barely ahead. Yeah. Next week, I'll be behind.
Yeah.
That's all right. I know
Hey,
my place.
This is Doug, Katie, Josh, and Matt. I started listening in August of 2010 after a week on a mission trip. I came home on fire for Christ and the youth he entrusted to me. Looking
Because
for
of the
more
missions
training.
trip or because of our thing?
I think it was because
Looking
of
for more training and info, I found you guys. I downloaded all of the episodes and started at 00. I listened to new
man.
episoades as they came out and even got an email read back in October. I just finished listening to the last episode, so I need to be revirginated in field speak. Well, it's really not revirginated, it's the rewind.
Yeah, I'm still
Rewind.
uncomfortable with
Rewind.
that word.
Yeah, it's the rewind wall. So here is this
Revirginated?
is
Yeah.
this is from Hank Stam
Yeah.
from Vicksburg United Methodist Church. He's only 9 hours from Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Is what he said. Old
Yep.
bit. I love that.
Old bit
That's
is
right.
right.
Youth worker. I love
Well, we got his
Hank,
picture
we'll put
too.
you on the
it.
wall.
Well, it's for the wall, and since Debbie no longer works here, I'm going to need some help on.
Yeah, because this is we'll actually put this 1 inch by 1 inch picture on the wall now.
That's why it's going to be saved. We're going to save that.
Oh, he's really got a good looking kid.
Anyway,
Because he's.
Oh,
that's amazing.
he's got the cool youth pastor
He
hair
does.
face.
It's
yeah. Anyway, he's going to be at the conference,
Yes.
and because you know what we should do?
special
Just
section.
thought of this. That's it.
There you
Special-
go.
Wow,
Special
you
seating.
guys are all about
We're
it.
almost
the
like best
rewind
friends.
wall.
Love it. I'm in.
Like in the
Don't put
general
me in charge of
session,
it, but I think it's brilliant.
somebody else
Well,
needs to
here's the
execute
problem. I
that.
won't remember it once we leave here.
Shoot,
So
me
somebody
neither.
better take
I don't even
The
remember what we're
rewind
talking
wall
about.
actually almost deserves more honor than the people that have been with us the longest. I mean, they really have had to catch up.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's a
in
lot
a
of
short
work.
time.
Either way, Hank, welcome aboard.
Here's another one.
Second.
Travis Reynolds, Grace
Is his
Community
name
Bible Church. I got caught up from a busy November and December, so I'm just getting to you now. But I am a 00 member. I started
Wow.
as a youth pastor in 2005, and you guys started the podcast shortly after. You answered a big question about switching churches in the same town at the live podcast last year in Chicago. It was right after guys like me were shaking their head with reserve frustration as a man only known as Tree skipped the opportunity to glean from the leftovers of your
Whoa.
dinner conversation.
You got that right.
I'm not dogging him specifically, but any youth worker with a true youth worker soul would, one, never miss a free meal, even
Amen.
for sleep, and two, never miss an opportunity to learn from the podcast crew about youth ministry. All this to say, if you're looking for someone to fill the spot at the table, I'll be there for you and will gladly eat your leftovers.
That's cool.
The picture of me,
There
is
won't be
me
any
in my
leftovers.
office,
Matt and I.
built for me in a garage in the home, 2 of my favorite youth ministry books.
99 Thoughts for Small Group. What?
I can
First
see.
2 years.
Bible
I don't know what
Institute.
the other one is.
Maybe PD
Once I blow that picture
Rooted.
up.
Yeah.
Root
Says,
work.
love you guys.
He's on the paper
and if
going.
it tells you what the podcast means to me, my wife refers to you as my friends, Doug, Matt, and Katie, and his
Oh,
youth
look at
ministry
that
mentor,
segue.
Josh Griffin.
Oh, you
you're
made
the
that
youth
up, but I
ministry
appreciate
mentor?
it.
No, I didn't make that up.
I wish there was
funny.
Are all of the are we calling them friends or team?
He said
Friends.
friends. We're all
Friends.
your friends.
I wish
and
the
we
friends
are.
had a little something that I could identify them so I could meet some of them. 'cause
We should send
They should
or-
every single
They
one
need
of
to
them
wear
should
like a
come up
little
and say hello to
00
you.
on their little hand or something.
You know
like
what?
that.
They will. Here's the thing.
That's a good idea.
When we started doing the podcast and then went to the conference, people were podcast people. They
do
let it known. Our team members are.
But if there was a scarlet letter or something they could wear, that would be
All right. Anyway, Travis
love
and
that.
Hank.
little English lit humor.
Travis
What?
and Hank will be on the wall.
All
And
right.
Now here's the deal.
Yeah,
If
in
you are
Chicago,
going to
which is
be
fun.
this show's going to go up pretty quick, isn't it? Tomorrow. If you're going to be at the Simply Youth Ministry Conference, send in a letter and just let me know you're going to be in there, and I'll pull those letters out, and we'll answer those at the live
Do
show.
some like text in stuff on the screen.
Yeah, why don't you own that, Josh?
Yeah, I'm going to right to the rewind section. On it.
Here is Jeff Stewart writes this. I have a question about speaking time. I saw a post on Josh's blog, morethandodgeball.com, cha-ching, that HSM aims for speaking time in the neighborhood of 25 to 30 minutes. But I'm pretty sure
25 to 35.
But I'm pretty sure that I've purchased my fair share of SYM resources, and correct me if I'm wrong, but some of them had Doug speaking for an hour.
Wrong. Wow.
I will correct you.
I hope so.
He says, example, best sex ever. So perhaps a healthy discussion on how long is long enough and how long is too long for speaking to students. I've never spoke for an hour in our high school ministry.
No, I would say you're longer than our typical, though.
Yeah,
and
but better than your typical.
Absolutely. That's a bit, and it's totally true.
That was a bit.
No, you're at 41.
Definitely when you teach on sex, though. But they're so into it.
But here's the deal: if there was over an hour, like if we recorded something over an hour, there were bits in the midst of it. Speaking,
character
teaching,
bits or something.
Not over an hour. I would say the
hormone skit.
The new Doug would be shorter.
Strong.
Yeah, the older Doug maybe 40 to 45.
Yeah, I could see you hitting a 47 on an occasion when you totally have 41 is a little more realistic.
Yeah, but if I don't have my audience, I'm
you're out.
The drawstring.
Totally. Yeah, I would say part of it is the quality and experience of our communicators, myself included, to be totally honest, and the desire for a service to be great and memorable, and I really think somewhere really close to an hour is good and important.
For the whole service.
The whole service, close to an hour, I think is wise.
And teaching-wise, longer is not better. Better is better.
Exactly.
And so, the only thing worse than short and boring is long and boring.
Exactly.
Yep.
Junior high, we're 18 to 22. Like, that's kind of our range.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And part of it is if you tell even a
Usually
guest
like
speaker
20,
or
right in there.
if you're calling up somebody for the first time into a whatever, say a little shorter than what you want, because typically they aren't shorter than that. A lot of times people don't realize how long they're taking.
Yeah.
I want them, myself included, to be very aware of how long your talk is.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and also to me, just in defense of the guest speaker, you also want to be honoring to the time and the sacrifice. So, for example, like for me, a lot of times we'll get the speaking request forms, and I don't really want to fly across the country for 30 minutes.
That's true.
That's typically not the best use of my time. Now, they don't really care because they want to put it marketing wise and use
put
that
your face
whatever.
on the whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, that's not. So when you have a guest speaker, I think you tell them up front, and don't say, would you like to speak? You set the boundary. Hey, we have a 22-minute slot, and we'd love for you to fill it, and we'd love your best message or your heart or whatever God's doing in your life right now, but let them know ahead of time. Not that everybody
and
listening uses guest speakers, but I think that's nice etiquette.
To follow up on that post, the junior high was typically a little shorter than that, and our college ministry was a little bit over that. So for whatever that means, I don't think it has to be that way, but that happens to be what it is in the moment in our student
The adult
ministry.
services.
And the adult ministry is roughly 2 hours, so it's good. Just kidding. It's like 98 minutes on average.
Yeah.
What are you doing there, Smokey?
You know what? I had a 21-minute message, and it was great. I mean, I'm trying to keep short. I'm at I'm under 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I've been 25. But there was 2 weeks ago I was like 21 minutes. I felt like I said everything I planned to say, and at first I was like, oh, I did 21 minutes. Man, did I suck? Like, what did I do? But
I'm
I just felt like
the time is irrelevant.
Yeah.
And content and quality is, if you can do a short, memorable, transformable,
understandable, biblical, absolutely.
And
why not?
And they can walk away and put it into play, and you can do it in 20 minutes. Great. If it takes you 40, great.
If it takes you anything over 40, work harder. Timing is not totally irrelevant.
This won't surprise you, but this is why I'm so excited to do 30 minutes and less. Is that like there was one time? I mean, I think it was years ago when I was first pretty new on staff.
Yeah,
but
some
I did
of
an
your
hour,
illustrations were 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I did an hour 45-minute message on the problem of pain in Job. I mean, it was
Wow.
It was
Well,
amazing.
and
No,
I
I'm
would
still
say
in therapy.
Yeah, totally.
there might be a
You
place
weren't there.
We're
You
talking.
would have stopped it.
We're talking about
But that wasn't a weekend, though.
service.
We're
I mean,
talking
yeah.
about a typical youth group or weekend in our
Open
environment
door,
program,
yeah.
Right,
entry
right.
level.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're not talking about discipleship classes and da 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 da.
Yes.
Which I
Sure.
do think you have a little bit more grace. You still better be understandable and engaging and all that, but you do have a little bit more grace. They're expecting a class format.
Yeah,
maybe,
the Bible
or
Institutes were 3 hours.
whatever. Totally.
And there was some discussion and stuff like that. I mean, there was interaction. It wasn't straight 3 hours of talking, but
Sure.
Yeah.
but it was
We-
specialized.
We met with a
focused.
youth group this week from Washington, great group and pretty significant size ministry, and they do like a 5-minute message, and then they open it up for discussion for 15. The speaker comes up and does like a closing that's a little longer, but it's very interactive, and it's
That's
really
great.
working for them. So
That's great.
Yeah.
a lot of good options out there.
Hey, one of the things, this is a little bit of a plug for anybody who's interested in communication, is I think I was telling Matt
Me-
about this.
yep.
Duffy and I are moving
You
away
probably
from
thought
our...
I was the weaker communicator, which you would be right.
if the shoe
That was
fits.
a compliment, I think.
I don't know. It was a
I just
slam on himself.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Anyway.
How was that not a
Good.
compliment?
No, it was good. It just
Because we're both really
Came out
weak, but you're just
confusing.
below.
No, you guys are-
Thanks, though.
No, I said he had to share it with the weaker communicator.
All right. So we've been doing the Speaking to Teenagers seminar based on our book around the country, and it's a great seminar. But we went, we really want to help people with this. Is we need them for 2 days, so we're going to do a 2-day smaller environment, like limited to 20 people,
oh wow.
and maybe at this hotel right here, or maybe
Love it.
a room at Saddleback or something like that.
Love it.
Get people to come in for 2 days, teach day 1, they go home with that information, come back day 2, teach it, and Duffy and I critique it, and we talk about it, and we
Wow.
learn from one another.
Whoa.
I think it'd be good. I think it'd be
Giving a talk in front of you, that's
And Duffy.
intimidating. That
No, it'd be
double
good.
intimidating.
No, it'd be helpful.
No, I think it'd be awesome. I'm just saying,
Scary.
Yeah. So we're gonna be doing that.
love it. I'd love it,
You'll
man.
hear more information.
I would
on
love to
that.
come and hear you teach again. I used to love when you taught.
Matt's a
We
good
should
teacher.
go over and just see him in action. Period. See the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, it's been so fun.
It's a delight.
I love
It's-
it.
yeah.
I mean, it's a delight hearing these. I just that's what one of the things I was so excited to go back in youth ministry was to teach every week, and I'm really loving it.
Doing it.
My
And
husband would like to come to your youth
I know
ministry.
he and I used to do great,
Because he really loves
great
your
ministry
teaching.
together. But I'll
So
tell
it's
you what,
just for you
I've
to teach,
never.
That was why you're excited. Just for you to teach.
No,
That's
that's
not to really
that
love
was
kids
one.
and
That was
point
one
them
of the
to
things.
Jesus
No,
and be
no,
part of
no.
this
Teach
transformation of
social good
families.
things. That's all.
Always got to find something. I mean, I guess when you're on top of your game, though, you got a lot of haters. How great was that?
I think that was a compliment to yourself.
Totally was. It was.
All right,
A little
here,
bit more clear than
this is from Pastor Zach Carpenter from Church on the Rise, Roseburg, Oregon.
ZC.
He says, Doug, you instructed me to send you an email about the shout out you said you'd give the podcast for my friend's nonprofit organization. The organization is called morethandodgeball.com.
Hey, go there. It's not
That's
for profit.
that's a
Interesting.
No, just kidding. The organization
free.
is called Because International.
because
Because International.
it's like bad English and catchy at the same time.
What they are working to do is to create a shoe that grows. That's right, it grows. This shoe will be sent to the children in Africa who don't have the ability to obtain new shoes.
You put them in water.
I've seen
And they
this. You
expand?
spray it on someone's foot.
I don't.
That
think
was
so.
in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yes, it was.
Okay, maybe best moment.
on.
53. That one got me. That was good. But
You didn't give it a laugh though.
I did laugh.
such a good laugh, you
It
couldn't
was
even-
like
There was
no
laughter.
oxygen
There
left.
was
You're gonna
laughter.
have to watch that on replay.
Yeah, it
we'll,
was
we'll
great.
replay. That
Slow
was a good.
mo.
You got me on
It's
that.
like
Charles.
backdraft.
Yep.
Sucked out the oxygen.
Anyway, check that out. I told him that we would pump it. Sounded like a great idea.
Is there a website to
Soon-
send people to?
I
Because-
said it twice. Then.
I know. I just set you up.
Becauseinternational.com. Becauseinternational.com.
What's that?
Got it.
What's that website?
Should be
Because-
.org. .org would be
And
better.
those of us on this side of the table over here really love Africa.
We do. We've been there.
we
We
can.
served there.
What?
Love it.
How do I not love Africa?
Don't
Oh,
even.
Africa.
You're
I
on
got to
top
tell
of
you
your
about a
game.
great Africa conversation we had this week.
All right, this is from Joe.
Keep it in. inside.
Yeah, relax. Breathe. Joe from North Carolina.
Hey, Joe.
Hey guys and Katie, love the show and have begun the daunting task of a full-on rewind after picking up the show on episode 150. I've just recently surrendered to God's call in my life to leave my current career as a graphic designer and to go into full-time youth ministry.
Wow.
I have worked closely with my father, a 25-year veteran of youth ministry, over the past decade as a volunteer, leading small groups, praise and worship, and rotating with him as a speaker. I have a communications degree and a youth minor from a prominent Christian university and a year of Bible training from a Bible college.
What's not to love?
What sort of things should I be doing to prepare for the next phase of my life while I'm hunting for positions and submitting my resume, besides listening to the podcast?
Yeah.
Is seminary a must? I've considered starting an online program from the same school I got my undergrad degree from in the fall.
We're going to answer
I
this
love
question.
that it was a prominent Christian college because no one ever says, I went to a crappy Christian college.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Matt did too, at first.
You talking about Azusa
Oh.
Pacific?
No. Talk about a prominent Christian.
Yeah. Set it up. No, that's a wonderful institution.
No,
Founded in.
I went to a place I wasn't a good fit at. It wasn't crappy.
No.
Me too. I felt the same way.
I thought you were there for 4 years.
Oh, I graduated there, and it was
I was only
definitely
there for
part
a
of my history
semester.
that I love and
And then I had
respect.
to
But
get
I
out
would
of
never send
Dodge.
students there now. Not a chance.
Oh, wow.
I'm also not going to say what it is on the air because I have a little bit of class. but-
Viola?
Well, the show.
Oh, Point Loma Nazarene. No, it's in Wisconsin. Doesn't matter. But I'm just saying.
Oh, that narrows it down.
Yeah, there's only like 400 prominent Christian educators.
No, okay.
Anyhow,
Let's get back to Joe.
How about
yeah,
your
so
first
Joe,
2
what's
years
the
of
answer?
ministry? Didn't you write a book on this? I don't know.
I
Maybe.
think that's-
Didn't I write a book for you on this?
Oh, God.
oh, I love it. No, I'd say the answer is no. I'm just going to give one word and be done. No.
Is seminary
Don't go to
must?
seminary. A must. Is that what he says? A must?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he doesn't know anything about the Bible, maybe, but no.
Well,
it's not a must.
As the only person at this table that went to seminary.
Yeah,
Up top.
Say I didn't go, so
I took
don't
a
know if it's
class.
a
I
must
took
or
a
not.
class, yeah. I got a C.
I flunked evangelism and discipleship.
That's true.
Yep.
So,
I
master's
think-
in youth ministry from Fuller, or whatever you did. I don't know.
No, I got a MDiv in theology.
Oh, that's the tough one.
Well, it's a year more than we like.
A year more in
than the
theology?
masters.
That's
Yeah.
legit.
But here's the deal: is it a must? I don't. That's a hard question. I think seminary is great to get some higher education, to get
Sure.
extended education. It'll also a lot depends on what kind of track you're going to run in. At some churches, it's a bigger deal than others.
Absolutely.
And,
It's usually good for your salary, and that would help. You know, coming with more education helps.
yeah, but it sounds like he's got a lot of experience, and begin to chip away at seminary. I think would be a great thing. There's a lot of great seminaries.
The question is, do you want to end up like Doug?
Or do
Or
you
like
want
us.
Exactly. If you can ride the
choose. I think
coattails
the
of
answer-
somebody else.
I think the answer
Just ride the
What
coattails.
awesome path you want to take.
kind of obvious
you
what
want
you
to
need
hang
to
out
do.
and have fun.
So again, the answer no.
More Xbox or exegeting. That's what
No,
it
I
is.
would say it's a great thing for a lot of people on a lot of levels, and I would, yeah.
Well,
That would be
let's reduce it down to continuing education. Whatever you're doing in ministry, whether you choose the seminary track, whether you choose an online deal, a youth ministry certificate that's
Even
coming
just
out in
conferences
June.
and reading, and speaking to teenagers, seminars, maybe. I'm just throwing that out there.
all
Be
of
a
us
learner, period.
are learners, and so
Totally.
whether you've chosen seminary or not, you put yourself in environments where you keep learning, and I think where there's
Exactly.
learning, there's credibility, and people that you are working for will find that valuable.
Absolutely.
Well put.
I like it.
I think it's a little bit more valuable to not forget rather than to learn new. But that's just where I'm at.
That was wisdom and not
I
knowledge.
used to tell Matt, I've forgotten more than you know.
Then I would cry at night.
Yeah, because your self-image is so
Yeah.
just feeble and
Oh
weak.
gosh. Oh,
Katie,
speaking
I
of
want-
image. Sorry.
Do you want to take us off track again?
Let's save that for lunch. Here we go.
All right.
We should just have food here. We can do a 2-hour show.
My life is a reality TV show.
I would watch it.
Nothing new.
I would watch that
Talk
train
about
wreck.
a car accident.
Oh god.
I'm in.
This is from the Reverend Charlotte Milliken, River of Life Ministries, Birmingham, Alabama.
Cool.
Hello, My name is Charlotte Milliken. And
I am the.
I am the youth pastor at River of Life Ministries in Birmingham, Alabama. I was listening
meet
to
you.
episode 151 with your wife and Amanda and Megan. A lot of talk was done from the wife's point of view, but how do I make sure as a woman in a pastoral position that my husband feels like he is still the spiritual head? I also don't want my husband thinking I'm, above him. It's hard sometimes being a woman in a position like I am, especially with a 15-month-old girl. It's hard balancing between being a wife who is supposed to treat her husband like a king, a mom, and a youth pastor.
A king?
A king?
Queen. Big queen.
No.
treat
Treat
the
her
husband
husband
like
like a
he's a
king.
king.
Oh, and he's the youth guy.
No, she's the youth.
I am confused.
Yeah.
Well, the
She's
sentence,
basically
the
Katie.
sentence wasn't well written right here. And Charlotte, that's
now
okay.
you're editing.
It's hard balancing between being a wife. Oh, no, it's okay. Being a wife who's supposed to treat her husband like a queen. King. That should have been like parenthetical. A mom.
Anyhow, is there a
and
question
youth pastor.
here?
So here's what she's saying. Is it hard being a wife?
Yes.
It's hard.
Yeah, sure is.
It's hard. It's hard balancing being a wife, a mom, and a youth pastor.
Best question ever. Do you want Matt to read and edit this first 2 years?
I know God has called me to this, and I'm not backing down, but I also want to be a great wife and mom.
And queen.
And king.
And pawn.
Please offer advice if you can.
Rook.
If you can, and keep my family in your prayers.
And
By the
please
way,
don't mention my name.
by the way, I love the podcast. All of you show that just because you are in a spiritual leaderdom doesn't mean you have to be stiff all the time.
Thank you.
Well,
And you are
Yes.
very helpful. I have no mentorship, and I'm trying to get a network of youth pastors in my area started. I have a vision of churches around our community coming together to worship together and have other youth pastors be involved.
Cool.
So we are answering as her family.
Let's and
her
friends.
Yes.
But considering none of us are
and
wives or queens.
Her princes and
but she said she wants to hear about it from the husband's perspective. I thought that
I
was
wish
the
you would have
beginning.
listened, or I wish I would have read that better.
either would have been good.
Let's just
Katie,
go.
why-
Katie, just talk.
Yeah, just you
Just
go.
talk, okay? Boys,
Yes.
we're playing the silent game.
Okay.
Well, it is very difficult to be a wife and a mom and a youth pastor and balance. I think obviously, you have to be in partnership with your husband, and that's, something that we pray about regularly as a couple. It's never been difficult for me to treat my husband, like the head of our household. I don't necessarily want leadership in our household. I feel like there's plenty of leadership in my ministry. So when I get home, I feel very comfortable to surrender leadership to Ron, because I feel relieved that I don't have to play that role at home. And so I feel like he's, a sounding board. I definitely feel like I have to protect him a little bit from all things youth ministry. I don't bring home a ton of youth ministry laundry into our marriage because
Which isn't necessarily a male or a female thing. 'cause
not a male or
we would
definitely.
say the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's something. I feel like it's something that I learned from you and Kurt early on was to involve my spouse in youth ministry and let him play whatever role he'd like to play, but also to be a little bit of a protector of, because I'm working with his friends as well and working in a ministry that he loves as well, and so to be protector of that. But yeah, I feel very comfortable and relieved to come home to my husband, who's the head of the household, and Ron runs our household in a lot of ways. He's definitely somebody who's overseeing a lot of our family household stuff. So I think it feels very natural to me, but it's hard. I think we have a village around us, a village of, community and friends and family who help us be who we are.
Village idiot?
The one who just. I thought you just raised your hand.
I think, having people that support you and love you, and, I also have a husband who, is totally committed to my call to youth ministry and understands that and has taken the time to really understand that and how that works and what that looks like in me. And so that's really helped us, in that role. But Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I feel like, God has always been faithful and worked out all the details and worked out all the balance and the nitty gritty stuff. And, it's never been something that I've worried about too much because I feel like God is in it. And because God's in it, it works. So,
That's good.
Do you feel like you have a clear picture for how the priority between those three things fit together?
yeah, I think
Marriage, kids,
yeah.
and ministry. And
I like being a little older because I think being a little older, I definitely have a little bit more perspective. I think being a young mom in youth ministry, when I first became a mom, I had a really hard time figuring out how ministry and mom fit together. But yeah, I feel like we have a really clear communication path. We have a really clear, yes, priorities are pretty clear. Yeah.
That's good. Well, on the show that we did with Amanda and Kathy and Megan also represented the other side.
Definitely,
with her husband, and that was good. Well, let's keep on the family question for one, because there's a follow up from the one that we did. It says, I just watched this from Jeff Hansen, North Hills Church. I just watched episode 151, and I'm right in the middle of making some huge ministry decisions regarding marriage and ministry. I've been at my church for 2 years and thought this was the place we were going to settle for a long time, but my wife is feeling like she wants to move out of state to live closer to her parents and family. We just found out that our son is autistic, and she is feeling stressed raising our kids with no help. I get the idea that I should make ministry second to her feelings, but it is a good job. Should I leave that for the
Yes.
possibility of not finding something else? I just want to be happy in what I'm doing, but also need to make her happy.
leave.
I need some help thinking about this. Well, Matt doesn't want to help you think about it. He just wants to answer it
Just
for you.
done.
No, I know. I mean, it's tough because if you're at a spot that you love, but that's where, this is a follow-up to the question I was saying, like, if you know what the priorities are, when push comes to shove, the decision becomes really easy, and your family is so much more important than your ministry.
Yeah.
Your
And
family.
people not watching the video that have just missed some of the
So-
greatest
Visual.
nonverbal.
Yeah,
That was
very
really
visual.
The
Thank you.
push come to
Push
shove.
comes
No,
to shove.
I
Push
just,
comes to
that
shove.
That was a
if
really,
I could have had three arms hitting at the same time,
I
I
thought
would
that
have.
was like
I
a
just
hand
didn't.
motion to a
I
song.
just didn't have.
Yeah,
Pharaoh.
I don't have
I don't know.
three
it
what
was
happening.
really strong.
Thank you.
It was really
Well,
strong.
I'm a communicator.
You might
now.
want to pull that
I
back
don't
out
know
for the
if
live.
You guys
I could take
Live
20 more minutes of that. I totally could.
I was going to say,
An
if
hour
you
and
use that
40 minutes?
effectively, you could drop that talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. He says, I just want to be happy in what I'm doing. But, the trigger point for me that I would say to you, Jeff, is that ultimately, and I know this is the ideal answer, and you probably don't want to hear it, it's not about your happiness. That in
Yeah.
that situation, it's not about you being happy in your job. It's
Yeah.
about you've got now a child with autism.
Joint dynamics.
And you have just, Matt and I have talked about this a little because some of the scares in his family with some of his kids. But, marriages in ministry, there's a lot of strain on them, period.
Right. Much less.
Well, marriage that has a child with autism, the divorce rate is like 80.
Yeah, because
85,
we have a
something
close.
like-
You have a really close friend that that they've.
It's just a big deal. And so, I know if Jeff would rewrite this, he probably wouldn't say, I just want to be happy in what I'm doing. And I realize you
For
do,
sure.
obviously
Sure.
you do, but it's not about, it's not about your happiness in that point. It's,
Yeah.
Well, I would just
your
I would
geography.
fight through this though. I wouldn't make a snap decision, even though leave does feel like the right answer to say. I get
Yeah.
that too. But
Yes.
there are times when we feel like I need to get out of this. I need to get closer to family. I need to, and you panic a little, and don't make a decision in the panic.
Yeah.
Sure.
The right decision
Yeah.
needs to be made. So I would say just take some time.
Yeah, like
work
if you
through
just
this.
found out your child is autistic,
Exactly.
don't make a decision.
We're like, we
in
just
the
found
first
out,
6
and we
months.
have to move
Because they're
1,000 miles away.
I mean, it depends on how severe it is and,
well,
and all
it's
that
good.
stuff.
It's good wisdom, regardless of how severe it is. It's good wisdom to slow it
To
down.
take a minute, yeah.
Or what Josh likes to say, to take a prayer posture.
Prayer posture. Lay on that kid and pray for them. That's what I would do. I
long as you're not
crush
gonna
my
suffocate.
children all the time.
Well, I think ultimately you want to feel like you're partnering in every area. So I want to
Exactly.
feel like in ministry, Ron is going to support and partner, and I want him to feel like as a dad that as parents we're supporting and partnering.
Absolutely.
And so in our marriage, we're supporting and partnering. So in all three of those areas, we want to be playing both roles.
And I would
you know.
even come back to your earlier comment about when you get home, you can go, the spiritual leadership, all that stuff is off your plate, and you can now just be the wife and mom and all this. And I would say the temptation is I fight all day to be the spiritual leader of HSM, and I wear that mantle, and then when I get home, sometimes I want to take it off and be like,
totally.
just,
Angela, run our house. Be my boss.
And so it's very tough to make sure that I'm still the spiritual leader of my children,
definitely.
and that is the top priority, and that I'm not just exhausted from ministry and go, all right, you're on your own, or
Sure.
they'll be fine, they'll get it.
Yeah.
I know I need to spiritually lead my kids, and it can be something that's shirked.
Yeah.
A good word to end on.
I wanted to spiritually flay one of my children, the youngest, who's the very cutest.
Oh, definitely the
But
cutest.
Mac threw a train in Misha's face. And literally, she sent me a picture of it. I thought it was like a dot with some blood, but it's literally that long.
Oh my gosh.
The scrape.
Right.
So it was a good shot.
It's a gash, and
Yeah,
it's
his kid's
unbelievable.
got an
She
arm.
actually, what's that? The kid's
Nothing,
got
no,
yeah,
keep going.
unlike
He's fighting
me.
through it.
Yeah, it must be.
He could be an athlete.
But
Dude, did you
kids.
Does he hate
I
trains?
did you
wanted
spiritually
to.
did you spiritually lead him?
I wanted
if
to.
you know what I mean.
He's 2 years. Yeah, no, he's only 2.5. So
You don't spank.
I don't know, 2.5. Do you spank?
I would.
I mean,
Don't
I'm
Don't ask
totally.
me. I'm
I'm
an
totally
advocate
for
for spanking.
spanking. But
You're not a
at
spanker?
2.5.
Yeah, I'm a spanker. I would
You
say
let
even younger
Ron.
than 2. No, I do all the spanking.
Yeah, I just spanked my kids this week.
Yeah.
It's
Ron's
tough.
too soft. He's a marshmallow.
Oh,
Gotta
yeah.
get in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Get in there.
you gotta get in there. That's funny. Yeah.
Well, that was an interesting segue.
Yeah.
Speaking of segues,
Did you hear the guy died? That was a
okay,
bit.
one
That
more
was
we
good.
done.
That was
One
good.
more we done.
We can do one, but it's gotta be fast. Is it fast?
Well, let's end.
Oh,
Let's
That's not fast.
No,
That's
we're done.
your hot button right
We're
there
calling
right
it.
now.
What's the hot? He's got a hot button.
Yeah, that's it.
That's totally
Save it for
it.
next week because I'm in.
What is
let's end on this one. This is just one of our friends, and Angela Barker. It's taken me 120 hours to catch up, but I've officially seen every podcast now and would like to be on the rewind wall.
Oh,
I had
nice.
to attach a picture of my summer office because of a camera glitch. It's her at the beach, under an umbrella watching
Summer
kids.
office. Yeah.
I also wanted to ask a question of you guys. Oh, there's a question.
Oh.
About a month ago, I wrote about my pastor informing me that I cannot be hired full-time at our church unless I'm
Oh,
ordained.
right, I remember that.
The issue I had with that is that the church is a different denomination belief system that I'm in. It hasn't been an issue because they have given me a lot of autonomy, but I don't feel right being ordained with them because of conflicting views about clergy, laity, etc. I have 5 kids and my salary isn't helping me care for them. A full-time position is opened up within driving distance and my husband thinks I should consider it, but I love the teens in our group right now and can't imagine abandoning them for a bigger paycheck. I plan on assuming some prayer postures over it. Nice.
Well played.
But I want to know what you thought. Wow. I thought we were
She
just going to
said
end with a
and.
picture.
Yeah, I was gonna say nice
Yeah.
rewind wall.
Yeah.
Well, Matt's answer would be leave. My answer would be think about it for a while.
Yeah, very similar to the last one.
Katie's would be talk to your husband.
And mine would be,
Yours would be you're not leaving over a paycheck. You're leaving over God's call. You need to pray about it, consider it,
Yeah.
really genuinely consider it. Look at your motivations, look at your heart, and then try to steal all those kids over to your new youth group.
Totally.
That's what I'm trying to do.
yeah, wait, and we need to. No, we don't need to talk about it. You can take. I got 10. You can take right
well,
now.
here, let me give
10,
you
10 from Corona Del Mar that go to your church.
They're all yours, buddy.
let me give one overarching principle for all of us. There's never a good time to leave a youth ministry. I mean, yeah, there is a good
Well,
time
when
when
it's
you're
good,
being
it's
run
bad.
out.
Yeah.
You know.
People hate your guts,
Yeah,
so they
they're
want.
There's pitchforks and torches. You're like, no, it's gonna be a good time to go.
Doug said it's never a good time.
This feels right.
When things are going good, when you love your kids, I mean, sometimes God's scream, you don't even hear
Yeah.
this whisper, because it just feels like, how in the world can I ever
Yeah.
do that? And I felt like it. Both the church I was at for 11 years and then Saddleback I was at for 18 years. I feel like I stayed probably a year too long just because I didn't want to, like,
Right.
oh, really? Am I supposed to have a discerning that? It's very difficult to leave something you love. And that's a very, very difficult thing. And obviously we can't
Yeah, there's
decide
no
that
easy
for her.
answer.
but we're glad you're part of our family, Angela, and welcome to the Rewind Wall. And you will be blown up and not blown up like killed, but blown up and enlarged. You will be enlarged.
Yes.
You will be enlarged here.
Yep.
Okay?
But I think you would also agree, don't minimize the money part of it. I mean, the money is important because it's more than just money. It's security,
it's part
support
of-
for your family.
sure.
Yeah.
It's
all part of the bigger
contentment.
picture.
Yeah. I mean, there's the
Just
money
use
part.
it as leverage.
Well, we've talked a lot about money on the podcast,
We
especially
have.
over the last year because Josh is whining all the time.
I'm gonna take this off right
if
now.
you remember, all your
You didn't get a
purchases
raise yet?
through More Than Dodgeball.
If you would, whenever you buy anything from Simply, click on the little banner.
Wait a minute,
Little
I heard
banner
you
over
got a
it.
raise. You didn't get a raise?
I'm gonna.
That's too bad.
It's gonna be awesome.
Do you need me to call Rick?
You know what? I'm very satisfied. God's been providing in a really, just to be totally honest with you, God's been providing in some really cool ways. So
Radicalis is sold out. You guys should have some extra money
not
over there.
get paid for that, but God has been really good. It's been good. So we'll see.
That's cool.
That was my tender nonverbal, and
It was.
I was when Matt did the sold out thing that made me laugh. So
But
I
it
wasn't laughing at
Thank you. Be tender.
No,
Be
I
tender.
was tender.
Instead of insensitive and a jerk.
Tender friends, let's bring it in. We will see everybody.
That's over.
We will see everybody at the Simply
Hey,
Ministry Conference.
I always stand alone.
Matt, put your hand right here, buddy.
Get it
I
in
love
there. Get it in
Come
there.
on.
Brad.
All right.
Come on.
I got your thumb. And
We're done.
goodbye. Where are we going for lunch?
Daddy, Janet